We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Today is my day, a brand new beginning. The future will blossom magnificently.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk Up Your Biz, Speak Your Way to More Profits. Sponsored by Speaker Services, and I'm Susan Levin of Speaker Services. For the last 21 years, Speaker Services has been supporting speakers, entrepreneurs, and experts and authors in growing their business and income through speaking. The song that you've been listening to is called The Seed, and you'll hear it throughout. And it's been written and performed by Lena Marquez. Thank you, Lena, for sharing this beautiful song with us. And we're so thrilled to be on the show today. And The Seed is all about inspiring you to know that you can, as an entrepreneur, as an expert, that you can grow your business through speaking. And that's what it's all about. And we want to inspire you and motivate you to move forward in that way. So Speaker Services started in 1992 to support professional people in growing their business and income through speaking. We do marketing and training services, one-on-one workshops, and we invite people to our website, speakerservices.com, to learn more. And now I'd like to introduce you to my co-host and team member of so many, many years. Her name is Jean-Noel Bassior. Welcome, Jean-Noel.
Thank you,
Yay! Jean-Noel is a journalist, a former journalist, a celebrity journalist, and has been on the scene for many years. And she's been working behind the scenes, doing a lot of writing and focusing people for Speaker Services and many other folks as well. And she's a book coach also, and she's written a book. Show us your book, Jean-Noel, and tell us a little bit more.
Well, Space Patrol, Missions of Daring in the Name of Early Television is about the hair-raising days of live television when they were just learning how to do it over at ABC. And I think that here at LA Talk Live, I see a similar scenario. It's very exciting. People are inventing a new medium, just as they were in the 1950s. And so it's kind of like a deja vu. But this book that I wrote is about those days at ABC when they were trying to figure out how to get a camera, how to get a picture, from a camera into someone's living room. So it's more than about Space Patrol, which, by the way, was the predecessor of Star Trek. So that's what the book is about, and you can check out spacepatrolbook.com if that's your interest.
There's a very interesting story behind Jean-Noel's writing the book, and she was led to do it, and it took her many years to put it together. And it has so much great information in it. And what I love is that she can take this information and turn it into different topics and talks for different audiences. And as she mentioned, it's about the early days of TV, and there are a lot of people who are interested in that kind of information. Tell us some of the ways that you've used your book to speak to different audiences.
Well, I was lucky enough to be on the show Coast to Coast AM with George Noory, and when the book first came out, I sent out query letters to a lot of different mainstream radio shows. And so I got on some of the Fox News affiliates, and with Coast to Coast AM, during the show, I got over 1 million hits on my website. So because I have a huge audience, but ranges, around 5, 6 million, 10 million people a night. But what you have to do if you are an expert and you write a book, you have to learn how to write I don't like the word pitch letter because that sounds a little bit salesy, but basically you have to learn how to write a short letter to talk show producers and to critics and really let them know what you have to offer, really summarize it in a paragraph or two. And so that's what I did. And of course, there's many different audiences for a book like this. There's TV and film aficionados. There are people who are interested in science fiction. And this, of course, specifically is about the dawn of science fiction on television. And there's people interested in how television was invented. And then there are people who are interested in sort of the dialogue about whether we don't have heroes anymore on TV. And so there's a chapter in my book called Where Have All the Heroes Gone? And so that's a whole other audience that is concerned with what's going on for kids now on TV. And so the book does talk about growing up with TV heroes that modeled, kind of good behavior, like you wanted to be one of the good guys. And so that's another market, is nostalgia. So that's kind of how I got my book out there. And I did get on a lot of mainstream radio shows.
That's great. Yeah, and I've been following this for a long time and very excited about her book because it keeps on giving. And, oftentimes people ask us, is it important to have a book or an e-book to get your message out there? Will people accept you as a speaker? What do you think about that, Jean-Noel?
Well, ebooks are really growing now. I know people who, if you're an expert, you can get out there and speak before you have a book. That is possible. But because we're in this kind of brave new world of self-publishing now, it's really easy to have an ebook. Really, you can do it. You can get it formatted. Unless there are a lot of graphics in it, you can get it formatted for like under $100. It's or even less than that. Sometimes $35 to $50. It's really doable for practically everybody. The only thing is you want to have a good ebook. And then it's good to have a print version, which can be a PDF that people can download from your website, or you can actually go to a printer, because now printing has changed. The self-publishing revolution has just changed the way everything works in publishing. And so now printers will give you, they'll print a minimum run of 50 books. So you can have your ebook, you can have your print version, you can have the PDF that they download from your website.
Do you think that it's necessary to have a book to go out to speak?
I think it's really helpful to have it, but I do know that it's not totally necessary. You can have other promotional materials, right? Like one sheets.
And books can come from your speaking. You can transcribe your book also, which is very good. Your talk, into a book, or turn it into a special report. Yeah. The other day I was reading, as you know, I do tons of research, and I'm always looking for speaking opportunities and leads and finding out, what's the cutting trends, the latest trends. And I found an article on Forbes, which is a pretty well-known online publication by Martin Zwelling. And he was talking about, I'm going to read you the bottom line as he finishes it. But he says, you can't win as an entrepreneur working alone and without speaking in public. Just like you can't build a business from your invention without good speaking skills. The good news is that both are learnable. So the earlier you start, the better prepared you will be when you need them most. For an entrepreneur, the need arises as soon as you have an initial idea. Are you there yet? I love this article because it's just what we're all about. And I think that a lot of people just don't recognize, first of all, that they're experts. And many times, we talk about this all the time, many times people will call and they say, well, I want to get out and speak. And I say, what's your expertise? And they'll say, well, I don't know. I say, what are you passionate about? They say, I don't know. Then I know we're in trouble. The red flag comes up. They need to be focused. They need help, as you would say.
I'm thinking about a client we had that we coached who was a coach in upstate New York, and Beth. And she wanted to speak at health spas and hotels. And so she thought that because she did relaxation, that would get her into a lot of places, remember? Mm-hmm. And what we had to do was focus her, and I remember the outcome of that was she started analyzing her market and going like, well, what do these spas want? And they want people to come back. They want guests to come back. So what she did was she focused her talk into how to make it a repeat experience, how to get the most out of their spa experience so that they'd want to come back. And so that became her hook, and that came from focusing. So if you're an expert and you want to get out and speak, it's really important to analyze your target market, ask what they want to hear, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, focus your talk into stuff that's really going to be of benefit to your audience.
That's absolutely true. And we help people in that way who want to go out and speak in the public. They become public speakers. That doesn't mean that they're professional speakers. What it means is that they speak as a way to grow their business and their practice and to create lead generation. And I don't know any better way of building a business better than marketing yourself through speaking. I always say, if you speak to a room of 100, or let's say 10 to 100 people, somebody in that audience is going to be interested in what you have to say to them. So that's important. But look, Jean-Noel, there are people who don't want to speak in public, but they have to speak for their job. Mm-hmm. So let's look at the other possibilities, because we're talking here to people who have expertise. You're all experts, I expect, and or you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to get more business. Or perhaps you're working at a company. Think about this, and you have to give a talk for the company. That's one of the ways that you need to you can get out there. We have people and friends and colleagues who work for like national seminar companies, where they go out and speak to the different companies through national seminar companies or Fred Pryor. They teach their program, not the speaker's program, but what the companies want to hear. That's another way for people to get really familiar with speaking and speaking in front of groups. One of the other ways you might get out in front of people is by speaking to on a panel, because you're the expert.
Right. Yeah. Or you could start with small breakout groups. You don't have to be the keynote speaker. A lot of times there is a keynote speaker and the group breaks up and they need people to conduct small workshops, maybe 5 or 6 people, 10 people. You could start there. But going out to speak for free, don't you think, Susan? I mean, that's kind of a safe way to start, isn't it?
Oh, it's totally safe. And a lot of our people, even though they've been getting paid for speaking, rather speak for free on a local basis. This is the way that they do their service. But here's a great example. I had a request for speaking last week from a company in Pasadena. And she said, we're a new group that's starting, and they're a digital company. And this was all through email, through a request form that I have on speakerservices.com. And she was saying, we're starting a lunch and learn program, and we need speakers. And she told me the different subjects they were interested in. And I said, great, I'll reach out to my speakers, who you all can see, by the way, at speakerservices.com. We have speakers for free, speakers for fee, and authors speak. You can check them out. And in a few minutes, we're going to be interviewing one of our speakers as well. Janet Thomas will be with us. And my speakers responded right away. They didn't wait. And then I got a great email from a couple of our ladies, and they said, not only am I getting booked to do the Lunch and Learn program, but I'm also getting booked to speak to the managers, and I'm getting paid. Bingo! That's where it comes.
Yeah, from that free program, that
by
free
saying
opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, by saying yes. By the way, if you have questions about how to go out there and speak your expertise, you can call us at 323-247-7443. Okay, 323-247-7443, and we'll try to take as many calls as possible.
Great. So, getting back to this expertise, after I read this article, then I'm very active on social media, as a lot of you may know or may not know. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and I was there from the beginning. So I've built a pretty nice following. I hope you're listening now because you heard about me or about the show, at latalklive.com. Today's our maiden journey.
I have to say that Susan is very aggressive and fearless on Facebook and all the social media. And, you are out there.
Yes, I am. I'm out there all the time. It's true. So I have a LinkedIn group on LinkedIn called Speaker Services, and you're all welcome to join if you're interested in speaking and marketing, and it's a very active group. And I'm the manager of the group, so I see who comes in to the group. And the other day I get a request from a man, and I look at his information, and he's a crane operator, CRANE. And I go to look around on his LinkedIn profile, and I can't find any information. So I was very confused by it, and my tendency would be to delete him or not accept him. But I heard a voice that said, ask him why he's interested. And I did. And this is the response I got back, and I share it with you. And it was really beautiful, and I hope this inspires you as well. He said, in college, I took a public speaking class and discovered I really enjoyed sharing my experiences with groups. My wife does a lot of public speaking and has grown to be very good at it. I hear about all the community leaders and company leaders she speaks with, and I realize that the connection she is making will help her in her career. And I would like that opportunity as well. I have the opportunity to teach in my field, and public speaking will help me with my presentations. Chris Knack wrote that. So, and what's been happening, and it always happens with this, everything's so synchronistic. I find this article, and then we're having this conversation, and then this man responds. It was really great. So I let him in the group.
Of course.
And I would want to say, too, if you do have questions and you don't have an opportunity to call in, you're listening thereafter, you can email me, Susan, at speakerservices.com, with your questions, and we can answer them next week for you on the show. And you can also email Jean-Noel.
And Jean-Noel, I'll spell that for you. It's JeanNoel @earthlink.net.
Jean-Noel, I know we have a series coming up that may be of interest to some of our people, which starts on March 7th.
Be a sought-after speaker.
Be a sought-after speaker. And you don't have to come in person. People don't like the traffic anymore. They don't want to drive over to the west side. So we set it up as a teleclass series. Mm-hmm. And it's about how to get more bookings and how to find and land them, because that's one of the biggest questions that people always ask. How do I find the bookings?
Right. And there's actually two things we cover in the class. That's how to find the bookings, because there is so much you can do as a speaker to be proactive. People don't realize how proactive they can be. And the other part is that focusing piece, to really find, how you're unique. Why are you different from all the people that are speaking about the same subject? So if you have those two things, then you're good to go. And the rest of it is picking up the phone, writing the email, and taking that first step.
And you can find that information if you're interested. It's for a teleclass series starting March 7th. It's a Thursday. And it also includes a private session with Jean-Noel and myself. And it's always a small group. We love coaching people, and they get so much from it. And people start out with us, and then they move to the next level. But everybody's in a different place. So when people call and they want information, or we do a little complimentary session with them, we find out where they're at, and we customize every program for them, whether it's one-on-one or if it's a teleclass series. We find out where they fit, or maybe all of the above. And I don't always like to say this, but I want to share this with our audience. Speaking is an art form. You can learn it, though. Not everybody's born a speaker. And if you have the desire and the passion to share your expertise, and that's what the meeting planners, the event coordinators are looking for. They're looking for the experts now. They're not looking for President Obama. I mean, some people might want President Obama or the Jack Canfields of the world. They're looking for experts who can train or speak to their organizations or their companies. That's what they want. And when people get listed with our service, they get listed under the categories based on what they speak about. So, and in the class, I just want to go back to that. In the teleclass series, we want to remind you that I have lots of online secrets, how to find gigs online. And now we're going to be going to break. And when we come back from break, we're going to have
Janet Thomas with us.
And she's the author of
Turning. I didn't have it right at my fingers. It's From Lemons to Lemonade.
Lemons to Lemonade. And she'll be with us when we come back. She's one of our speakers and authors.
I'm taking a stand. Dream
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Are you ready to enjoy the Maui lifestyle? You can have it all by owning real estate on the paradise island of Maui. Dennis Rush, a 22-year Maui resident and real estate broker, brings his wealth of experience and market knowledge to add value to your Maui real estate understanding, providing a level of service as unique and exceptional as the island of Maui itself. The magical island of Maui was voted the most exclusive resort island in the world by Condé Nast Traveler, and keep in mind, Maui is only a simple, non-stop flight away. Hawaii Business Magazine Top 100 Realtors awarded Dennis Rush the 2011 fourth top realtor on the island of Maui. Go to www.dennisrush.com to view all of the amazing properties currently available in the Maui MLS system. Whatever your needs or desires, Dennis Rush will provide a private consultation for any Maui properties your heart desires. You will be in good hands. Once again, go to www.dennisrush.com. That's www.dennisrush.com. Contact Dennis today to start your Maui lifestyle now. Dennis Rush, proud sponsors of the Dawn Christie Show and LA Talk Live.
Hi, this is Susan Levin, owner and founder of Speaker Services, inviting you to join me and co-host Jean-Noel Bassior on Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, for our new show, Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. We'll be talking to you about how to use your expertise to grow your business or service through speaking. Our expert speakers and author guests will share their stories and success secrets with you. Don't forget to tune in to Talk Up Your Business Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Today is my day.
Welcome back to Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. I'm Jean-Noel Bassior, and this is Susan Levin.
Hello.
And this is LA Talk Live. Our special guest today, this segment, is Janet Thomas. Hello. And Janet, hold up your book. You've written a marvelous book, From Lemons to Lemonade. And I love the subtitle, Restoring the Sweetness to Everyday Life. That's a great subtitle.
Thank you so much. It's Lemons, Lemonade, and Life, and it's practical steps for getting the sweetness back when life goes sour.
Oh.
And what's wonderful about it is that that's on the one sheet for speaking.
I didn't realize
and it's
that.
great because then it just kind of gives folks exactly what it is that is meant to do. From lemons to lemonade. That's kind of it in a nutshell.
Oh, great.
Tell us what a one sheet is. Some people may not know what, and you can show that.
Yes. Actually, a one sheet is for speakers. When you want to go out to get speaking engagements, it's important to give folks the information right away on what they can expect from your talks. So basically, a one sheet gives your headshot. It shows kind of in a nutshell what you're speaking, what you'll be speaking on. And then also on the reverse side, typically, you give a listing of what your talks are and what the audiences can come away with.
Your talks
right
here.
Yes.
Yeah. And you are a coach, a speaker, a writer.
Yes.
And I notice you kind of wear two hats, right? You're a mainstream business person, but you also are trained in channeling and mediumship,
yes,
right?
I've been doing that for over 20 years.
And you're combining both, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you are a spiritual coach based in North Hollywood, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, I know you've been through obesity. You've faced a lot of challenges, even sexual abuse. You've come back from a lot of things. How did you restore the sweetness to your life after going through all of this?
Oh, it's been quite a journey, I'll tell you, from sexual abuse, childhood sexual abuse, to clinical depression, to obesity. Basically,
you're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Basically, it's been a lifelong journey for me to really understand what it means to heal, actually, to heal for real. So for many years, I was a proponent of positive thinking. I learned about the law of attraction when I was a teenager, and I did a lot of positive thinking, but then I found that things didn't really shift even though I wanted them to, because the honesty underneath was that I still didn't feel very good about myself. So basically what I had to do when I had a total breakdown in my late 20s, I really was going to leave the planet, and I decided to stay for the benefit of my son, who was then 2 years old at the time.
Oh, glad you did.
I'm so glad I did, let me tell you.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. And that's when I really rolled up my sleeves and I decided it's time to heal for real. And basically what I had to do was take exactly what happened. That's what I call the lemons, our non-preferred situations in life, those that compromise our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being. And the water is about acknowledging what happened, acknowledging how those things impacted you, and without apology, with being very honest with ourselves. And then the sugar is getting clarity on our behalf, and then letting those experiences work for us. As an example, I did not know how strong I was to have survived all of that, and that's something that I acknowledge in myself. And it's about becoming your own best friend, that positive self-talk that's really, really genuine, and I found that comes from doing this process.
If someone listening right now or watching us is feeling kind of really low and is in a space similar to where you were at, what would you tell them right now? What is something they could do? What would be that first step they could take?
Well, the first thing that I would highly recommend is to just keep breathing. That honor what you had to do to survive to this point, that you've done such an amazing job at staying on the planet amidst a lot of pain. So give yourself that acknowledgement first and foremost. And the second thing that I talk about is the idea of responsibility, that we have responsibility for our lives. But what that simply means is that we have responsibility. We have the ability to respond to our lives. So that which is on our plate that is uniquely ours are exactly the building blocks that we can create a wonderful new life ahead. So keep breathing. You have the ability to respond to your life. And when we have that willingness to really open up, then we find that the teachers come, the right people can come and kind of give us a lifeline, and we get those guiding lights to finding our true sweetness.
So if they're listening now, maybe your book might be that.
Yes, it really is. It's a roadmap on how to heal. It's a formula on how to do it, and we all have our different versions of what those lemons are. It doesn't have to do necessarily with sexual abuse or depression. It could be anything. And it's just a formula on how to heal really, really. And I found tremendous success with it.
So I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Did you start speaking before you wrote the book, or did you write the book first and then realize that you wanted to go out there and share this information with people?
You know, I've always enjoyed speaking with people one-on-one. That was always something that I felt just really invigorated by. And then when I decided to write the book, and it was my passion, basically it's about uncovering that undamaged person within. And so you get clarity on what your passion is, whatever that may be. So when I found that my passion really was emotional healing, that's when I wrote the book. And after I wrote the book, it is kind of like a business card. It allows you to establish expertise in your field. And so that's when I decided to start speaking to more than one person at a time, or more than small groups at a time. So it kind of blossomed from there.
Were you nervous when you first started?
I was only nervous when I was focusing on myself. When I focused on serving other people, when I decided to say I really wanted to serve, I really wanted to assist and help with transformation, it became about the service. It became about the other people, and that dissolved.
That dissolves stage fright, doesn't it?
It dissolves the stage fright because it's really not about us.
Yeah.
I think that when it is about being pure and wanting to serve other people, yes.
Yeah.
It does dissolve. It does go away very quickly. And then there's just a joy and passion in serving.
Janet, how
Yes.
can people get a hold of you?
They can reach me on my website, which is janetdthomas.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn.
And you can also find her on speakerservices.com.
Yes.
And she's listed under several categories that you can search by her name, Janet D. Thomas,
Yes.
who's the author of Lemons, Lemonade, and Life. Beautiful book. Very happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janet.
So if anybody has any questions, if you'd like to ask of Janet, you can call in, and we'll probably take them a little bit later. And then the number is 323-247-7443. And we'll be going to break in just a moment and bringing in our next guest, if it all works out the way we expect, on Skype with Melissa Evans of the Broshi Group.
And Janet will stay with us to answer questions till the end of the show.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hands can do incredible things. This is the sound of 326 hands playing Mozart. This is the sound of 10,942 hands showing appreciation. 64 hands building a house for the homeless. 142 hands swimming a triathlon. 18 hands winning the big game. And this is the sound of 2 hands helping to save a life. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's incredibly easy and effective. Hands can do incredible things, but nothing compares to using them to help save a life. Find out more about this latest method of CPR at handsonlycpr.org. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, this your girl, Paris, straight from the Cousins, and you can join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Here live, bring you some great entertainment for those ears, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. I'm Jean-Noel Bassior. This is Susan Levin of Speaker Services, and our guest today is Janet Thomas. And hold up your book again, Janet, and tell us the title.
It's Lemons, Lemonade, and Life, Practical Steps for Getting the Sweetness Back When Life Goes Sour.
So we were talking about how you are getting out and speaking about your book. And I'm wondering, how are you contacting meeting planners? Do you have a game plan? What are you doing to actively get these speaking engagements?
Basically, what's most important, I found, Jean-Noel, is to be really focused on the message or the messages. And once you're focused on the message and the messages, you can take a look at what's going on in the marketplace, on who's talking about that, what are the interest groups that would enjoy that topic.
So how are you finding the interest groups?
Basically going online, looking at different articles, different magazines of interest that have to do with my subject matter.
Are there magazines you found helpful, resources, or?
Different resources, there are different editors and different article writers, different authors of the magazines. It all depends. Like as an example, and it's really, really important, again, to talk about what your expertise is, to be able to identify what it is and move forward from there. And although your services may assist everyone, it's really nice to narrow it down into a specific niche that you can really, really move forward with.
Yeah, niche is so important these days, isn't it?
It is very, very important.
Yeah.
Jean-Noel, we have a caller, or is it that our Skype person? Okay, so we have Melissa Evans on Skype. And hello, Melissa.
Hi, Susan. How are you doing?
Good. How are you today? Happy birthday to you. It's her birthday today.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad we connected here. We were a little concerned, and our engineer here and general manager said not to worry, and it all worked out. What?
You know what? They were right, because here we are today together, so that's great.
It's so good to hear your voice. Let me tell you a little bit about Melissa. Melissa is a successful entrepreneur who realized her dream of becoming a self-made millionaire by the age of 31. She is known as the guru of implementation. And several years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, she came to me and said that she had been recommended by one of our colleagues to call me. She had gone through a lot of different training, and she still needed to know the marketing end of speaking. And could I work with her individually? And yes, we did. We worked together for 6 or 8 times. We got her one sheet, as we showed you. Do you have Melissa's one sheet?
I
Yes.
do. Yes.
Okay, hold it up so we can see. It's a double-sided one sheet.
Front.
Yes, people can see
Back.
it. And we developed her one sheet, and then we got her out there speaking. But since then, she's been getting speaking gigs, and she's been very, very busy. Melissa, tell us what you've been up to.
Man, it's like what have I not been up to?
I know, you've been all over the world.
I know. People say, well, where are you originally from? I say baggage claim, because that's where I am right now. I want to just acknowledge you, Susan, because while I did hear that you were one of the best to actually train and coach folks to being able to speak their brilliance, to be able to build their businesses, what I experienced from working with you is not only your acumen and your knowledge, but I also experienced the fact that your heart is amazing. You have a heart of gold.
Aww.
And as an entrepreneur, working, day in and day out, to be able to encounter you and experience you with your heart of gold and your knowledge was something that I could never have ever been able to afford, if you will. That was that bonus that, people don't oftentimes get the opportunity to experience. And I just want to thank you for that. So not only was I able to approach more efficiently ways to be able to use speaking in my business as a way to increase my revenue and be able to touch more lives with my message, but I was really coached and encouraged by you, an amazing soul that really cares for others and cared about my success. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I forgot to mention that Melissa's also an author of several books. You want to share those books names with us, please?
Sure. So I have, that's a good question. So I have 2 books. I want to focus on my best-selling book.
Okay.
Because it actually came from my heart, and it was my 3rd book. So for all of you out there that are wanting to be authors, it took me 3 times to really get into my skin, if you will, and really settle into a message that was dear and near to my heart. And so that book is Soul to Soul: How to Identify Your Soul Purpose and Monetize It.
That's my favorite book too. I love that book, and the title of it, it's it's SOUL to SO.
It's SOLE.
SOLE.
Yep, to SOUL.
Oh, that's
it. And that's the book. And if anyone was ever interested in just getting a free chapter of the book, they can always go to www.sole TOSOUL book.com. That's where you'll receive a free chapter of the book to see if it's something that really sparks you and motivates you and inspires you to live your life unapologetically with your gifts and monetize it so that you are financially well.
Melissa, this is Jean-Noel Bassior, and I'm co-hosting here with Susan. And I have a question for you. I was looking at your one sheet, which is so great, and you do talk about being authentic. And I notice you speak to corporations, and you speak to a lot of groups. And I'm wondering, like, how can somebody who's on the job actually be authentic and stay in their authenticity? Aren't most people afraid that they kind of can't show that side of themselves at work? Or how do you do that?
Well, first of all, Jean-Noel, absolutely yes. It does take a level of courage. So I need to be very transparent and clear about that. There is a perception, and I've even had this perception that, oh my goodness, how am I going to just be myself in corporations and business? Like, oh, well, the more that I fit in and I get along and I follow what I understand are the unspoken rules and then the spoken rules, that is the only way to succeed. Stay in the box, if you will, to get along. That was my perception. And so, I actually chose to be a little bit more courageous because I felt that, I have this experience. I know what I'm doing. And you know what? When they hire me as a consultant or project manager, and even at the times where I was an employee for Fortune 50 companies, I, at the end of the day, just had to be myself. I had to understand that they had a need and they wanted to create an amazing possibility. They wanted to create something that they didn't have at the time that they hired me or that they had, given me a contract to accomplish. I mean, at the end of the day, businesses are there to make money. They're there to get results. And what I found is the more authentic I was and the more that I stood for what they wanted to achieve is the more business that I received, the more respect that I received, and the more that they knew that I was the one for them because I was so clear as to who I was.
Well, that sounds like it was kind of a walk through fire.
Pardon?
That sounds like it was kind of a walk through fire. Because that was the first thing I thought. This must have taken a lot of courage to really be authentic with them.
Absolutely. And I want to just be real with that. I mean, there were times where I entered some organizations and I was like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself in? I mean, to the extent that, this very successful companies, CIO, it has a certain mentality, like people cannot even say certain words or he'll blow up. And, it made me question, but at the end of the day, question, like, will I be successful here? But what I knew is that they hired me for a particular reason and that it was my responsibility to not only deliver on that, but to say provide the expertise that I know I should provide. And so my constant reminder was I needed to make sure that I kept my light. I kept myself, the light that I brought, that I kept that and I nurtured that to maintain that. Because once someone blows out your light, the level of value that you have decreases significantly and it can turn into a slippery slope.
Wow, that's awesome. And how did you make that leap to start speaking? Like, how did you start out?
Well, when I started out, I actually started my career within Fortune 500 or Fortune 50 companies. And when I was part of the organization, I was actually called and chosen to do our user groups. I participated in user conferences. I went to professional associations. And I was able to strengthen my muscle, if you will, within the particular industries that I existed in. And then when I actually left corporate America and actually started my own business, I still saw it as an amazing tool for a small business to get out there and actually save money on marketing dollars, to really stay current with the audience or community that I was here to serve, and really stand out from a perspective of being authentically who I am. They got to choose. Like, here I am. You can choose if my company is the one for you or not. And And when the people that chose to work with my company and with me, they were very clear as to what they wanted, and it actually increased my business. So being unapologetic and being able to go out there and speak in front of your community that you're there to serve allows you to have even more residual income, a better life because you're already in alignment with yourself.
You're here.
And you can be unapologetic. It actually makes your life easier, and you can make more money in a way that feels good for you.
Melissa, what is your most often or most popular talk that people ask for, the event coordinators?
Good question. I mean, so originally it was how to recession-proof the business of you. So that really had pertained to entrepreneurs as well as business-minded folks that were in careers and wanted to just stay on top, especially in the times that we have been in for a while now. And now I've been getting more requests for systems are sexy. In business, I speak about that, and also in life.
I love that title. Don't you, Jean-Noel?
Oh, yeah.
Great hook.
It's amazing.
Great hook.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So if people want to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
If they want to get a hold of me, they can always go to www.broshegroup.com. Actually, I am also listed on your speakerservices.com, Melissa Evans. I do believe, placed in 2 categories. There are some opportunities that I have where I speak for free in particular cities, and then other areas where I am automatically a paid speaker. So I am in both listings. And Susan, I definitely want to direct people to your speakerservices.com website, because that has been a place where everybody goes, and I've gotten a lot of my requests from your site. So I'm there with your other speakers.
That makes me really, really happy. Right now, Melissa, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, please stay on the line with us, because we're opening the lines for questions, and we have Janet Thomas with us as well, who is one of our other speakers, and we just interviewed her on Lemons to Lemonade and Life. And we'll be back in a few minutes. This is latalklive.com. Speak your way to more business. Talk up your biz. And we'll be back with our guests in a few moments.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, Chef Richard Petty here to tell you about LA Talk Live's new cookie show, Let's Do Lunch, with me, your host, Chef Richard Petty. Let's Do Lunch launches Saturday, January 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Well, tune in to Let's Do Lunch with me, Chef Richard Petty, Saturdays, 10 to 11 a.m., exclusively on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
You're listening to Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits on LA Talk Live. I'm Jean-Noel Bassior.
I'm Susan Levin.
And we have Janet Thomas with us.
Yes.
And we have Melissa Evans via Skype on the phone. And we are all here to answer any questions you have. If anyone would like to call in, the phone number is 323-247-7443. And call in with any questions about how to speak your expertise. If you'd like to go out there, start speaking. If you have a book that you've written and you want to get publicity for it, we're here to answer any questions you may have.
Melissa, I wanted to ask you, where are you speaking next? Where will you be? Are you out on tour again?
Oh, that's a great question. As a matter of fact, I will be speaking at Mercer University on Saturday at their Leadership Academy conference. And so I'm really excited about that. That's in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I'll be also speaking, I do believe, the following Wednesday at the Executive Women International in Atlanta, Georgia. So those are my upcoming speaking events. And I will well, that's all where I'm coming from right now. I have some international speaking events coming up, but those are the immediate next speaking events where I'll be.
Excellent, excellent. That's good to hear. So, what kind of advice would you like to offer to business people, entrepreneurs, or experts who are just starting out and want to get out there and speak, or not even sure that they are experts?
Well, I do believe if you have a passion and desire to serve, so
Yeah.
let's just say, where is your come from? Where do you want to make a difference? And to really take the time out to understand how you can make the best difference. You are uniquely positioned to be that expert. Oftentimes your experiences, whether it's your breakdowns, your breakthroughs, or your challenges, when you overcome those, then you are the perfect person to be able to give back in that particular area. So please just let that go as far as those voices that tell you that you're not good enough. Why would anyone want to listen to you? And why would they possibly want to pay for your services if that is your voice that happens in your head? And I think we all know what that voice is because we've all had it before. I've even had it before. And that's being a millionaire later. I've had those things before and I still have them to today. I would say set that aside and really more so focus on how can you serve in your community. What I would say as far as a tidbit in regards to getting out there is to just get going. Whether you have to initially get into your community and speak for free just for practice, to understand what it is the needs are of your community, what happens to be the needs of your community, and to really stay present with your audience. Be there to understand not only the gifts that you give, but be always open to hearing how can you serve them better. Your community will let you know, so be open to that.
That's
the
very,
reason that,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I say the reason that that's kind of important is because oftentimes when we're just starting out, we're so in our heads about, are they going to like me? Are they going to accept me? That I'm actually encouraging you to get out of your head and be more focused on the people that you're there to serve and to be present with them than to be in your head and in fear and, afraid of rejection and things of that nature. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I'm saying that it's not really real. They don't know you like that. All they want to do is understand what's in it for them. How can you make their lives and their businesses better? That's all they really care about. So just stay focused on that and be present to them.
And I want to add that's excellent information. And I want to say to step back one step here. A lot of people don't listen. They don't listen. They don't listen to the messages that they hear. And if I didn't listen in 1992 to the message that I heard after I sold not my first business, I've been an entrepreneur since 1970. If I didn't listen after I had sold Conscious Connection magazine and kept asking, what am I supposed to do now? And the voice said, you're supposed to do something with speakers. And so I always jokingly say that I ran out to Radio Shack, to find out about speakers. But that wasn't what it was. But exactly what Melissa's saying is what I did. And Jean-Noel and I brainstormed about it. What does this mean? What does it mean? And I used my expertise and my team members' expertise and to build this practice for speaker services because I saw that there was a need. There was nobody else out there doing what I was doing. And even the same way now, I mean, there's lots of agencies that are out there, but they don't take care of people the way that we do. We really care. We help people with the marketing. We help people with the writing. We help people with the focusing. So if you get a message, I want to say permission granted. Allow yourself to be there and follow that path and get the coaches and the people that you need to help you along the way. Janet, what did you do? When you how did you find your path along mentors and how did you find people to help you?
Well, I was absolutely voracious in my own quest.
Voracious. I
for
love
healing.
That word.
Yes, voracious about it. And basically I just opened up to make the decision that I wanted to, and you'd be amazed at the synchronicities that happen once you make a decision. Once you set an intention,
Oh, yes.
you will find those people in your realm to assist you. And I wanted to mention also one other thing about the speaking. It's really, really important. People want to connect. And that is the most important thing, I think, when it comes to public speaking. If we can get out of our own way to allow that connection to happen. And that's where the magic is. That's why we associate with each other. We do want that connection. And that's the most important thing.
Both you, Melissa, and Janet have offered such wonderful advice. And, Melissa, I can hear the courage in your voice, and I hear your confidence in your voice. And the same with Janet. You are two people who have just lived everything that you're going out and speaking about, and it really shows.
Absolutely.
It really shows.
Several years ago, one of our colleagues, Michelle Price, coined the expression connectivity is the new currency.
Yes.
Yes. And I didn't know what it meant then, because it was right at the beginning of blogging and social media. And we were doing an event, and I said to her, please come and speak about what's going on out there with this social media stuff. And what she meant by that at the time was go out and blog. But it's so much more than that right now.
Yes.
It's you have to connect on so many different levels, whether you're doing a webinar, whether you're speaking to your kids, whether you're doing a talk, whether you're blogging. We have to know how to connect, and we have to know how to speak it. And connectivity is the new currency. That's the way you connect, and that's the way the money comes in. And I appreciate you gave me a good segue, Janet. Next week, we're going to have Ursula Menchez, one of our speakers, longtime speakers, and her latest book is about selling with synchronicity. And
Beautiful.
She also wrote Selling with Intention, and she's very successful. And we are also having Adam Tim, who is a 911 operator. And I'm trying to look for the name of his book, and I can't remember. It's something about kick the habit out of being stressed. That's what it is. So we're signing out for tonight, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye to Melissa. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your birthday day.
Thank you.
Okay,
you to
we love
Janet.
you. Thank you so much.
You too, darling. Take care. Do the great things that you're doing in the world. I appreciate you.
As well, back to you. Thank you to
Thank
Janet.
you, Janet.
Thank you both so much.
See you next Monday at 5 p.m. at latalklive.com for speak. I keep saying speak your way to more business because that's my slogan. Talk up your biz. And we look forward to meeting some of you and talking to you in person. Thank you and good night. And thank you, Lena, for this great song. Lena Marquez, The Seed.
I'm taking a stand and making a difference. Ready to change the world that I see. 'Cause I have a dream. True love is evergreen. I know it's not Let your love shine. Planting the seed in my soul. Let your love shine in my soul. Let your love shine. Let your love shine. Let your love shine. If you let your love shine. Planting the seed in my soul. Let your love shine. Oh yeah, let your love shine. Planting the seed to build a world closer to heaven. Planting the seed in my soul. Are you watching it grow? Watching it grow. If you believe, we will make it together. Planting the seed in my soul. Our beauty will show. Planting the seed. Planting the seed in my soul.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.